Well, now that I've got this gearbox all back together, put in a vent, make sure that's okay, put in the proper amount of oil, and I had to email the company that makes this gearbox, Superior Gearbox, to find out how much oil has to go into this little unit here. They have online, there's a service manual I found, and it just says put the proper amount of oil in, but it says nowhere how much is to go in. Very odd. I emailed them back, and well, there's one thing the Americans are great at, and that is customer service. I emailed them, and within half an hour, I get an answer back saying that there's 6 ounces of 80W90 gear oil that goes in it. So I put that in, filled it up, the proper 6 ounces. It's all in good shape and it's working really well. Now I did tape off this shaft and I bead blasted here as well where the splines are, and we can see that on the part of the splines right in here, there is a little bit of wear there, but I don't think it's going to negatively impact the mower. I think it's still going to last for the use that Mr. Woods has for it in mind. Now, I got the gearbox all done. So let's take a look back here at the mower. And remember, we were replacing those cases because there was a problem with broken bolts. Now, when we look down here in the mower, this is where it rests. And we can see by these holes, this thing was working its way loose probably for quite a while. It's wore those holes bigger than they normally need to be. And it's actually wore down into the metal here on all pretty much 4 areas. Now, if I just bolt this gearbox back into place, with those holes made extra big, it's going to start to jiggle and it's going to come loose, and the same exact thing is going to happen. So that doesn't really make a good repair. Going to have to look at and say, what is a good way to repair these holes? Do we build it up? I could weld these holes and then drill holes back in it. But the wear that's on this plate here kind of worries me a little bit. I'm going to take a look at some different options. If you're watching this video, you can think about it. I have to take my angle grinder and these sharp edges and burrs that have been pushed up. I'm going to try and create a smooth surface here, get those ground down. It's going to be a challenge underneath to do that. I might be doing it with a hammer and chisel, but let's see how that goes. If you get a minute before I post and you see the next video to see what option I went for, how to repair that, let's see if our ideas match.